Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all doing beautifully today on this rainy London winter weather. Anyway, welcome to a new video on my journey on getting into UAL. This video is going to be pretty chill. I'm just going to talk about what other schools I applied to, what I did to get in, the interview process, all that good stuff. Keep in mind that everything I'm saying is applicable for a foundation program at UAL, specifically London College of Fashion, and not for a Bachelor's of Arts or a Master's, because I think it's kind of different depending on which one you're applying to. If you want to see what my portfolio looked like, go check out my previous video. It's all about my portfolio. Thank you for the love and support on that, by the way. Let's get started. So I'll just start from the start. I've known I wanted to go to fashion school for about 3 years now. At first, I really wanted to go into fashion business. I was taking so many business courses at school, such as entrepreneurship, accounting, and a couple more. I was really determined to get into fashion business school, and so I took all those electives during high school to facilitate my way into fashion business school. I was initially looking to go back to Paris because, if you don't know, I am from France, and so I wanted to go close to home. So I was looking at ESMOD, which, if you don't know, is one of the best fashion universities in Paris. So I was looking to go there, and I was really keen on it. For a whole year, I was like, I am going there. And I was like, fashion business, fashion business, fashion business. Then came what we love to call COVID-19. And you might be like, why did this change everything? Well, I discovered my sister's old sewing machine, and I started to teach myself how to sew over quarantine, and I fell in love with it. I just fell completely and utterly in love with sewing and making clothes. And I've always been a very creative person, but I never felt like business was that creative. But my mindset was, oh, it's just because I'm just doing business classes and not fashion business classes. But when I fell in love with sewing, I was like, this is so cool. Like, I absolutely love this. So for a whole year during COVID, I just sewed every single day. And so I sat down with my mom and I was like, listen, I think I want to go into fashion design and not fashion business. And thankfully, ESMOD also had a fashion design school. So I thought, great, I won't even need to change what school I want to go to because they have both. So from there, we called ESMOD, and we also called other schools in Paris just to compare all of them. But we kind of settled on the fact that ESMOD seemed like the best suitable option for me. However, I then had many countless conversations with people in the fashion industry, and they all told me, have you looked into UAL? I was like, I haven't, because I wasn't really looking at fashion schools globally. I was looking at fashion schools in Paris specifically. So I was really closed off, and at first I was like, no, I want to go back home. I want to be closer to my family. That's what I want. But then, out of curiosity, I started looking at the programs offered at UAL, and I was drawn. I was very drawn. And so I sat down with my father and I told him, listen, I think I should apply to UAL. Just in case, you know, who knows, like, I never thought I would actually go anywhere, if I'm being quite honest. So he was like, I've always told you that you should apply to go to fashion schools in London. And I was like, yeah, but let's just not bring that up. Let's just pretend you never told me that, and let's just go from here. But he was super supportive, and he told me, yes, go for it. And this was November/Christmas 2020, so a year ago. And when I was having this conversation with him, he told me, look if there's any classes that can help you. And so I was looking at UAL short courses, and I came across the Central St. Martin's fashion portfolio, I think it was like age 16 to 18, and it was online, and it was a week long, and it started in like 5 days from when I was looking at it. Keep in mind, this was end of November, and I had to hand in my portfolio in like a month and a half, 2 months. I took the CSM Short Course, and it was so fun. It was honestly one of the best weeks of my life. I had school at the same time, and so I would leave school early to go to those classes, and I don't regret a single little bit of it. And if you are looking to go to UAL, really look into their short courses. They're not mandatory and you can absolutely get in without having to do one. I think like probably 98% of the people in my class have not done any short courses. However, for me, it really helped reassure me in my decision because it also introduced me to UAL in such a positive way, and it really motivated me because I don't think without that short course I would have seen what it was kind of all about. Like, I made friends that I still talk to today. It was just a very nice energy and everyone was willing to be there, obviously, and it was just great. Please don't stress out. I know that short courses can be very expensive, especially the UAL ones. If you can't go to one, that is okay, like completely okay. I don't think that I would have even needed one to get in. It just helped me mentally to be like, this is the best choice for you. And after that short course, I put UAL on the top of my list of universities to get in. So it just reconfirmed everything. If you're sure you want to go to UAL, I think you're good. It was just mentally for me. Moving on from that, for a month and a half, I stayed in my bedroom and I just worked my butt off. And I know some of you guys are gonna be like, a month and a half, that's not a long time. I know it's not. It's not at all. And some people have worked on their portfolio for years. And I was like, this is dangerous. This is a dangerous game I'm playing. Going from there, I got in contact with my country rep, which basically, if you didn't know, UAL offers people who represent each country around the world and can help you with your application process. When I got in contact with her, she was great. She just sat me down and told me, listen, I know you're going for a BA, but most international students go into foundation before going into BA. And this is actually very common to do, especially if you're coming to England to do a foundation year, because it just makes it easier then to get into BA, and it also teaches you the fundamentals. Here they have A-levels, so it's kind of the equivalent of that. I'm pretty sure that's what I understood from that. I'm not from the UK, so correct me if I'm wrong. That also reassured me because I was going for a BA, and if you saw my portfolio video, you would have been like, don't think she would have gotten into a BA. Moving on. So from there, my country rep aimed for me to go into a foundation diploma at LCF. So I continue working on my portfolio. I really focus on process, research. Final outcome is important, but it's not the most important. I talk all about that in my portfolio video, so check it out if you need any advice. Then came time for my interview with ESMOD. I did the interview and I got in. So at least I had a backup. I felt the pressure come off a tiny bit because I was like, I'm going to fashion school and I don't need to worry about doing something I hate. And then came the time for me to start my application with UAL. So the first step was to upload a personal statement and to upload my grades. That took about, I want to say, a week or two to hear back. You then get an email and you get invited to submit your portfolio. So I got that email and I took a deep breath and I clicked that button and I submitted my portfolio. And from there, a couple days later, you hear if they would like to interview you. So I got that email and I was very excited. I'm not gonna lie, I was super excited. And then came interview day. On interview day, I was sure to pick the first time slot because yes, you can actually pick your time slot for your interview. You can choose the day, you can choose your time slot, you can basically choose everything. I chose the soonest date possible and the earliest time because I'm one of those people that just, if I'm stressed, I just need to do what I have to do to not be stressed anymore. I can't like procrastinate about it, although I do procrastinate, but in other ways. So my interview was online. I don't know if they held in-person interviews last year because of COVID, but I know that mine was online. So during the interview, there was the interviewer and there was my country rep. During the interview, it was very, how do I say, scary. Let me tell you one thing. It felt much more like a conversation more than an interview. And I think it's really important to keep that in mind because when people were telling me that before I had my interview, I was like, that's not possible. I'd be way too stressed to be like, oh, this is just a conversation. But when I tell you it felt like a conversation, it felt like a conversation. Like, they don't want to see if you're fit for the school. They want to see which program you're the most fit for. And I think if you have that mindset, it goes so much better than you expect it to. But during the interview, basically, they were looking at my portfolio and they were were criticizing it. They were criticizing it a lot, but they were also saying what they liked. And honestly, during the interview, I was like, I don't think I'm getting in, because there was just an energy and I was just like, I don't think I'm getting in. Or it might have just been nerves. I don't really know. At the end, the interviewer was telling me books I should look into buying, all that kind of stuff. And then they looked at me and they go, well, congratulations. And I was so in shock, and I think I left my mouth open for the last couple minutes on the call, and I was thanking them so much, and I was just like over the moon. I heard that some people don't receive an answer during their interview. I think it depends who interviews you. For me, they told me at the end of my interview that I got in. So I closed my laptop and I screamed. I was very happy. I was over the moon, and I don't know, it was just like, it was just crazy. It was insane. From there, I got my acceptance letter, and that's basically how I got into UAL. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or anything at all, please feel free to leave a comment or reach out to me on Instagram. Thank you so much for everything. Yeah. See you guys in my next video. Bye!